Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another Learning with Fourth digital education video. My name is Ember Kelley, and I work here at the Fourth Universalist Society as the Director of Religious Education. I use she and her pronouns, and I'm so excited to get to have a little video today, just kind of talking about our theme of the month, February, which is widening the circle. It's what we've been considering in some of our religious education experiences, whether that was our In Conversation, our podcast. We've been considering how do we widen the circle? How do we be more inclusive? And I'm so excited to get to sit down once again for one of these videos with our intern, Ben. Ben, good to sit down with you.
Hey, Ember. Yeah, to anybody who I haven't met, my name's Ben Heaney. I use he, him pronouns, and I am the field education student this year at Fourth Universalist from Union Theological Seminary.
And that is possible because our YouTube subscription numbers, they grow every time I check. We're up at least one, so it could be someone who hasn't met you before. It's possible. Say hello to us down in the comments if you are new.
Welcome. Widening the circle. We're already
doing. We are diving in beforehand. So this theme is really all about like inclusivity, about making sure that we're really extending a very radical welcome. How do you think we do better about that, like both in our own lives, maybe in our community, as someone who's gotten to experience the community for the first time this last year? How do we really journey towards that inclusivity?
The first thing that comes to mind for me, and I think this is pretty broadly applicable, not to say universal, is that it's important to accept discomfort and to allow people to ask you to do things that make you uncomfortable, especially when in society you move around and live as a privileged person. It's possible that a lot of the things that make us uncomfortable when we're used to that position is something that is liberatory for someone else and maybe even for ourselves in another sense in the long run. So being open to uncomfortable experiences and to uncomfortable ethical needs, to demands in a sense, is something that I think is really necessary for creating greater real inclusion.
No, that makes sense to me. Like, I think that for a lot of people, if you are coming from a place of privilege in your life, that widening the circle can actually be somewhat of like a step back. That it can mean not constantly just assuming that you need to fill into a leadership role, not constantly assuming that that your opinion has to be shared, but instead making sure that others' opinions are getting the chance to be shared, that others are having that space where they can grow as leaders, where they can grow in community with one another. It's hard to do, but it's important work to take that kind of step. And I think that with our vote for the eighth principle last year, that we kind of committed ourselves to saying, like, we want to be working to widening the circle. This is a key part of what we understand Unitarian Universalism to be for us as a community, is to widen the circle.
Yeah, absolutely. And, as we've talked about many times, we both have some experience with philosophy, and there's a lot of different pictures of universality in different schools of philosophy. And there are some that I think correctly emphasize constructed universality. Like, we have to build it out from where we are. We can't just assert we are inclusive. We have to figure out what the actual roadblocks to the biggest possible circle are. And there are going to be challenges that we have to face along the way, and there might be challenges that, like, certain individuals can't face themselves, and there has to be a sharing of authority, of agency.
That makes sense. I feel like also the pandemic has kind of shifted our circles to some extent. That I mean, maybe even to some extent, narrowed us down, made us focus on the community that we have in the here and now.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think that there are ways that narrowing a circle, either, in a lot of different terms, it doesn't have to be of people, but of just, maybe a circle of goals or aspirations, has actually freed you up to, to do things that are more important to you, to take more vital actions, or whatever it means to you?
I think that almost is kind of getting at what you were saying, what we were saying there before, that sometimes widening the circle means stepping back from privilege. But I think that on a personal level, that the pandemic has really made me redefine what's important in my life, and that's been hard, challenging, often painful, but good for me in the long run. Like, that's not the easiest thing to acknowledge, but that the choices that it's made me make have shown me what matters. And I think there's also a sense of letting go of, it's made me realize that I have to let go of perfectionism, because when you're living through a moment like this, you literally can't be. I want to, a small shout out to TikTok. Actually, TikTok has been good for helping me battle my perfectionist tendencies, because whether it's with videos like this or podcasts, I can do a bunch of editing, and I can really put a lot of time and thought and preparation into these sort of things. Whereas with TikTok, it's like, okay, I'm going to make this 15-second video, and then I'm going to put it out there to the world, and we're going to see if anybody cares. That's all you can do. You can't, if perfect can be the enemy of the good. And I think the pandemic has helped me define that in my life. What about for you?
Yeah, I relate to that a lot. I'm not a TikToker, but that does make a lot of sense. Maybe you'll get me. Yeah, I'm still I'm in my mid-20s, so I'm,
youngin,
culturally expected to have just unbounded energy. But, under the stress of being in a pandemic, and especially when school's all online, so much of getting anything done comes down to self-discipline. And so things just take up way more energy, and focusing in Zoom classes takes up so much more of your internal resources. And, I, especially since starting college, I've been somebody who studies pretty hard, but I've really had to learn how to make choices about what I'm going to devote my time and energy to, because things are just going to take more out of me in this whole situation. And it's really made me think about the cultural forces that define the expectations that we have of people's energy and time and resources. And I think that this experience with having to think about my own limits, thinking about the ways that I have to do less in order to do certain things well, has provided me with some really key insights about work-life balance that'll be applicable for a very, very long time.
Ben, I'm so thankful for a chance, as always, to get to sit down and chat, even if it's just for these brief chats. I would love to also hear, if you're watching this video, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, I'd love for you to leave a comment talking about, ways that you think that you can widen the circle in your own life, but as well as ways that narrowing your focus has also been good for you. I think this is two good ways to think about the circles and how they relate to our lives. So thanks so much, Ben.
Thank you. It's been great to chat.